Namaste children. This is Jyoti Devgan from the Department of Social Science, and today I am here to teach you a new chapter of history, chapter number 10, 18th century and the political formations. Now if you look at the map number 1 and 2 closely, you will see something significant happening in the subcontinent during the first half of the 18th century. Now notice how the boundaries of the Mughal Empire were reshaped by the emergence of a number of independent kingdoms. By 1765, notice how another power, the Britishers, had successfully grabbed the major cities of territories, or rather major chunks of territories in the eastern part of India. Now, what these maps tell us is that the political conditions in the 18th century changed quite dramatically and within a very short period of time. Now, in this chapter, we are going to read about new political groups in the subcontinent during the first half of the 18th century. Now, as we all know, that the third battle of Panipat was fought in 1761 and the death of Aurangzeb was a major part to be remembered. There was a crisis going on of the Mughal Empire. Now, if you remember, in chapter number 4, you saw how the Mughal Empire reached the height of its success. And just to remind you about the acronym used for the Mughal Empire, that is B, H, A, J, S and A. Now if you remember, B for Babur, H for Humayun, A for Akbar, J for Jahangir, S for Shah Jahan and A for Aurangzeb. The last powerful ruler of the Mughal Empire. Now, you remember in chapter number 4, when we had seen how the Mughal Empire reached the height of its success and started facing a variety of crises towards the closing years of the 17th century. These were caused by a number of factors. Now, Emperor Aurangzeb had depleted, means he had almost deleted half of the military and financial resources of the empire by fighting a long war in Deccan India, that is the southern India. Under his successors, the efficiency of the imperial administration completely broke down. It became increasingly difficult for the later Mughal rulers to keep a check on the powerful Mansabdars. They had even become powerful as compared to the kings. The nobles appointed as governors, or you may say the subadars, they often controlled the offices of revenue also. and military also, Diwani and Faujdar also. So automatically all the finance was in the hands of these Mansabdars. This gave them an extraordinary political, economic, and military powers over vast regions of the Mughal Empire. Now, as the governors consolidated their control over the provinces, the periodic remission of revenue to the capital, it came down. Now, peasants and zamindar rebellions in many parts of northern and western India added to these problems. There were a lot many revolts here and there. These revolts were sometimes caused by the pressure of the higher taxes, you may say. The people, the common people, were not able to pay those taxes, and hence they revolted. At other times, they were attempts for position. They wanted to control and consolidate their position. The Mughal authority had been challenged by rebellious groups in the past also. But these groups were now able to seize the economic resources. And someone who has money, someone who has control over finance, automatically is more powerful as compared to the king. The Mughal emperors, after Aurangzeb, they were unable to arrest the gradual shifting of the political and the economic authority into the hands of the provincial governors, the local chieftains, and the other groups. In the middle of this economic and political disturbance, the ruler of Iran, that is Nadir Shah, he sacked, he looted and plundered the city of Delhi in 1739, and he took away immense amount of wealth from India. This invasion was followed by a series of looting and plundering raids by the Afghan ruler Ahmad Shah Abdali. He invaded North India 5 times. Now, already there was a lot of pressure from all sides. The empire, that is the Mughal Empire, was further weakened by competition among the different groups of nobles. They were divided into major groups, or you may say fractions. The Iranis, the Turanis, that is the Turkish nobles. For a long time, the later Mughal emperors were just puppets in the hands of either one or the other powerful groups. The worst possible humiliation came when two Mughal emperors, Farooq Siyar, please note it down, Farooq Siyar and Alamgir II, they were assassinated, meaning they were killed, and Shah Alam too were blinded by their nobles. Now, switching over to the next heading, that what happened after this? Obviously, the emergence of new states. Now, with the decline in the authority of the Mughal emperors, the governors of large provinces, that is the Subadars and the great Zamidars, they consolidated their authority in different parts of the subcontinent. Through the 18th century, the Mughal Empire gradually fragmented, means broke down into a number of independent regional states. Broadly speaking, the states of the 18th century, you can divide them into three main categories, or you may say three main groups. The first, the states that were old Mughal provinces, for example, Awadh, Bengal, and Hyderabad, although extremely powerful and quite independent, the rulers of these states did not break their formalities, their formal ties. They did not break their formal, that is earlier ties with the rulers, that is the Mughal emperors. Now, second category, the states that had enjoyed a lot of independence under the Mughal rulers, that is the Watan Jagirs. These included many Rajput rulers. The third group was, it included basically the control, these states rather were under the control of the Marathas, the Sikhs, and the Jats. These were of differing sizes and had seized their independence. They got their independence from the Mughals after a long struggle.